Professor Dench is a professor of classics and of history, and she teaches several classes here at the college, including History 1011, the world of the Roman Empire. Her current research focuses on Roman imperialism and the retrospective writing of the Republican and Augustan periods. Professor Dench's other interests include identity in classical antiquity and the culture of the Roman world. Please join us in welcoming Emma Dench.
Imperium! That's an in-joke. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I promise not to do Imperium very much. Well, good evening. I'm really glad. I feel like we've had so many big ideas. The one thing we've missed so far is audience participation. And I want to do something about that. I also, having in mind that this is Harvard Thinks Big, I wanted to start by teaching you a very important, serious, profound poem. Will you go with me? And we'll do a bit of sort of recital of this very, very, very important poem. It's going to be quite a cultural moment. Will you stay with me? Yes, that's what I want to hear. Yes. Okay. I'm going to say one line, because it's quite complicated, one line at a time, and then you're going to recite it after me. And then, if you're very good, we'll do it all together. Are you ready? Yes. You're very good. Latin is a language. As dead can be. It killed off all the Romans. And now it's killing me. I think that was fairly good, actually, so we'll do it all together now. 1, 2, 3. Latin is a language as dead can be. It killed off all the Romans, and now it's killing me. Very good. Yay! So I learned that poem first in approximately, we deal with approximate dates in Roman history. So I learned that poem in approximately 1000 BCE when I was at high school. And I have to say, even in 1000 BCE, we actually used to recite it ironically, because the one thing everybody knows about Latin is it's incredibly cool, is it not? Yes. It's incredibly, incredibly cool. And it's cool because it's a really dead language. And there is nothing as cool as learning a really dead language. I'm a little bit obsessed with dead people. I've been obsessed with dead people ever since I was pretty small. By the time I was 7, this is a really terrible admission, but by the time I was 7, I realized that the Romans, amongst others, were more dead, more interestingly dead, more intriguingly dead than just sort of common-of-the-mill, run-of-the-mill dead people you see in the churchyard. They just don't count. You know, when you sort of read a gravestone and it says, you know, Betty Smith died, you know, 1825. I mean, you know, she's still warm. Joseph Black, 1623. Come on. I got into Roman history, I think, that way, just by being fascinated with these really, really dead people. And I started learning Latin when I was about 11. And one thing led to another, and I felt like it was all one thing leading to another. You start Latin, and then you have to, have more. We're a very acquisitive society. And so I started learning Greek, and I thought, it's just one more step, and I'll be reading hieroglyphics. I mean, no problem, yeah? Go back and back, further and further in time, and I'd be uncovering the secrets of the mummies. We just had mummies. Here's mummies again. It was really, really only going to be a matter of time. Fortunately or unfortunately, I sort of got stuck on the Romans. And I think the main reason I got stuck on the Romans, although they weren't the oldest dead people I could imagine, because I didn't like them very much. There's a sort of slightly serious point to that, because I think there's something very valuable about having a bit of emotional distance as well as chronological distance. So here's just an idea of what's not to love about a dead Roman like this? This is a dead Roman, ladies and gentlemen, yeah? A dead Roman. Don't you fall in love? Fix your eyes on dead Roman and fall in love. So this is a dead Roman who died in the eruption of Vesuvius in Pompeii in 79 CE, and the person is dead. But what on earth is the point of trying to talk to dead people? And I have to tell you, it's not easy talking to dead people. Have you ever tried? Yeah, we all try all the time. Of course you have. Have you ever tried talking to dead people? I think you're in denial. Personally, I'm in denial. Well, talking to really, really dead people is harder, and I'll give you a little vignette. I imagine many of my best friends are modern historians, and this is how a phone call gossiping with one of my modern historian friends go, and it goes something like this, and I'll do it in a nicely stilted way so you get the point. Okay, my friend said, well, it's been great talking to you, but I have to go now because I have 700 boxes of, letters and documents to get through still for my project. And I'm not envious, not at all, no. So I say, oh yes, well, actually, do you like my acting of this conversation? It's very animated. So I say, okay, yes, I have to go too, because I've got 3.5 letters on a papyrus, and I think I know what 2 of them are, and I've got a bit of broken potsherd, and I've also, it's really exciting, I've got a coin, and I think it might be an emperor's head on it, and I'm going to use these to make a story about Roman antiquity, and I think I can do it in about 6 months. That's the kind of exciting life I lead. That's what it's like to be at the cutting edge of Roman history. Well, so what on earth would be the point? So one of the points of, I'm told, of trying to talk to very, very dead people is that they can tell us about us. That's what I'm told. They can tell us about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And in this glorious country, which is not my own, but I love it. I love this country. In this glorious country, I think one of the wonderful things about this wonderful country is that you have, I can't do that, have this sort of hotline to Rome. Let me give you 4 examples. Always need examples. In Rome, we've got a Senate. You're learning Roman history. It's really exciting, isn't it? We have, yes, isn't it? Yes, thank you. In Rome, we have a Senate, we have a Capitol, and we have a Roman hero. This is a difficult name now, and he's called Cincinnatus. You're quite well trained. So, cutting to this country. Oh, yes, in this country we have a Senate, a Capitol, and Cincinnati. Anybody from Ohio? This is for you. This is for you. So, we can go further. Did you know that we have a self-consciously multicultural society? Did you know Rome had a self-consciously multicultural society? Did you know that? No. Well, these are the more familiar images of Roman mythology on the left. Romulus and Remus and the she-wolf, very nice. On the right, I mean, I kind of call him a hero, but he's not a very impressive hero. This is Aeneas. You know what a Greek hero does. It's, Superman. Aeneas gets to carry his dad on his shoulders and sort of shuffle the kid along. It's kind of, I always wonder why there aren't more movies made of Aeneas. It's kind of, anyway, but alongside these very, very familiar myths, did you know that Rome had a myth of the making of the citizen body, that Romulus, one of the, here we go, not suckling mother's milk, but suckling milk. There, sucking, look. Look, it's proof, isn't it? Professor Hind, it's proof, yes, of everything. So one of these children grew up to open an asylum, and that asylum was open to vagabonds, foreigners, slaves, you name it, and anybody could come to it. Does that sound familiar? Yes. Anybody can come, right, Rome. One very sort of important point of what we might do with Rome is we might find out, because we are Rome, will we fall? And the answer to that, in my considered scholarly opinion, is I haven't a clue. Okay? So what I would like to do with Rome, and I promise I will be quick about this, is something a bit more subtle, but much, much more interesting, I think. And that is to appreciate something about the gap and the distance. So I'll take you on a little time travel, rather quickly. You're going along on this time travel road, and it's quite narcissistic. It's all about me. We're all a bit like that. And you see dogs, and you look at Roman dogs, and you're very, very excited, and you think, oh, it looks just like my dog Bobby, doesn't it? Except, sadly, my dog Bobby isn't dead on the left and doesn't wear a horrible, mean collar like that. We wouldn't do that to Bobby. And but it's really cute that the Romans have pets. That's lovely. Let's go with it. The Romans also have pet children. Yay! A big shout out for the cute children. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that marvelous? And we're going along, and they're really, really cute, and you can dress them up, and they're really hilarious. And then when they get too old, you can sell them off, and they can, go and work at the docks, or they can prostitute themselves. It's lovely. And, we like to have exotics, so we have Ethiopians in our house. We also like Britons. We like the ends of the earth. And we like anybody that looks different. They're really, really funny. They're really amusing. So we have dancing dwarfs and a hunchback. It's really fantastic. I think, and one's absolutely shocked. You are going along, and then the Romans are humane. They're brilliant. Could you build a road like that? And then suddenly you're back to Dancing Dwarfs and a Hunchback. There's a very serious point for me. For me, the engagement with Rome begins with this shock. How could they do that? How could they be brilliant? How could they be humane at one point? And then how could they be so cruel? How could they talk about the humanity of slaves? And how could they talk about how we're all slaves to our passions, potentially, and then not think of abolition? You go along and you just think, why are they so inconsistent? And it's a very humbling process trying to work out what the logics are. And what I think really happens is when you start really engaging with a society that's very